Good morning, good afternoon, as the case may be to everyone, and welcome to acu-connect, our edition days for the construction edition. I'll just briefly, I'm Darcy Borio with acu-connect. I'm just going to go over the agenda real quick and then we'll get started. So I'm going to take a couple minutes real quick to tell you what acu-connect is and what we're all about for those that don't already know. And then Joel Hoffman with Acumatica is joining us to talk about the latest with the construction edition. And then we'll have Lauren and Bill from Project Manager come along and talk with you about project portfolio and resource management platform. Joni Girardi with DataSelf for BI-based reporting. Marcus with Jigx is here to talk about mobile apps, and Solver will also be joining us regarding budgeting and FP&A, and we'll hopefully have some time at the end for questions, but we've got a lot of speakers today and a lot of information for you. Just briefly about acu-connect, our mission is to provide Acumatica customers, partners, ISVs, and employees with opportunities to share, learn, and connect with each other. You can learn more about us at acu-connect.com. We are an independent organization, and our organization and our operations are funded by our sponsors. So just want to take a quick minute to recognize our community sponsors here on the screen, some of whom are actually going to be presenting today. And so in addition to webinars such as this one for education for the community, we do have events throughout the year. So I'm going to just quickly go through some of the events that we have coming up on May 13th, and you can scan that QR code and it'll take you to our events page where all of these events are listed. But on May 13th, we have a webinar by Ed Kless and Ron Baker, who some of you may know, and this one's more directed towards VARs. It should be very interesting education around transformations of digital implementations. We're doing another edition days for those of you who either maybe use the construction and distribution edition functionality, or if you're a VAR who works with both. We're doing a whole series of these. We have a virtual networking event. We've done many of these in the past, but we kind of stopped for a while and we're bringing them back, and excited to get everyone on camera and just chatting about what's going on in their business and with Acumatica. We have our manufacturing edition days coming up in June. And then the big reveal is our virtual conference. Our annual virtual conference is going to be on September 18th and 19th, and the registration will be coming out very soon. So keep an eye on your email or just check our events calendar for more on that. And we have excited to announce that John Case yet again will be our keynote speaker for that conference. So with that, I'm going to go ahead hand it off to Joel.
All right, thank you, Darcy.
Maybe.
Give me a quick thumbs up that you can see my screen.
All right. I'm trying to stop sharing and it's not letting me. So
that's okay. I think mine's sharing fine. All right, we'll get this started. I just welcome everybody, and Darcy, thank you to yourself and the acu-connect community and the different ISVs and partners that we're going to see later on today. Just wanted to give a little view of the construction edition and just some of the things that we're thinking of. You think of construction and the different markets that we serve. As we're looking at construction, you have your general contractors that are either going to self-perform some work maybe themselves, or you think of the commercial building and trades that are going together, then the mechanical, electrical, plumbing. So think of those as your air conditioning units and your plumbers and your electricians. And then we also serve the home builder community and heavy civil. And each component, as whether we have things within the native Acumatica product or we use partners and ISV solutions like what you'll see a little later on today, it comes through and gives a complete offering for the construction industry utilizing Acumatica's platform. And Acumatica's vision is to allow customers to have the complete life cycle, from the time that the bid or the plan that we're going to build something on this plot of land, then we start to estimate it, we get the planning, now it's been awarded, then you go through the execution side of things and the financials, operations that are coming through, scheduling, then that all the way goes through to the closeout, project's finished. Now maybe there might be some things from a field service component inside that you've installed new equipment and now you need to service it. So from an Acumatica perspective, the whole community is allowing us to really provide that complete life cycle for the construction industry. And you'll see some great things coming on today as they relate to construction and different activities. But I'm happy to be here and give you some views into the Acumatica. So think about that whole life cycle and what you might need to do. Thanks.
Great, thanks, Joel. We'll have Lauren and Bill from Project Manager up next.
Awesome. Thank you for
Excellent.
having us. All right. Thanks, Bill. I'm Lauren Petter from the marketing team at Project Manager, and I'm here with my colleague, Bill, Director of Content. We're super excited to give you the background and a quick intro to Project Manager, talk about our integration with Acumatica, and then, of course, connect with all of you. So Project Manager was founded back in 2006, which in tech years makes us elders. At that time, all project and portfolio management tools were super clunky, on-prem, and siloed. It was also the era in which a lot of today's big name collaboration tools were just getting started. Out of that was born some software giants that we know, love, and all use today: chat tools, Kanban boards, collaborative work management tools, etc. At that time, collaboration was kind of the buzzword of the decade, but we took a slightly different path and didn't oversimplify our product. We stayed true to the backbone of real project management with advanced scheduling and planning, with dependencies, real-time resource availability, and the ability to execute complex project plans all in the cloud and in a collaborative, smart environment. So with us, you get both the trendy buzzwords, but you also get advanced PPM capabilities. This made us especially valuable in the construction industry, where teams were managing complex schedules with physical dependencies, hundreds of vendors, resources spread across multiple projects. That could be people or materials. And today, more than half of our customer base is in construction. Next slide. So you all asked and we listened. We built a deep and meaningful integration with Acumatica. It's not a basic sync, it's a full-on bridge between what we consider to be two very mission-critical systems, with benefits of improving resource utilization, building automated accounting workflows, more accurate forecasting, and portfolio-wide visibility. So CFOs and financial folks love the clarity of cash flow. They love forecasting and really truly understanding project level profitability. And project teams love us because it eliminates a lot of duplicate entry, reduces errors, and saves a ton of time for manual entry. With that, let's get into the good stuff. I'll hand it over to Bill to walk you through a demo of our tool and the integration. Thank you, Bill.
Excellent. Thanks for that, Lauren. I'm going to get right into some of the nitty-gritty of why construction teams love our software and why we're such a unique fit for the Acumatica platform. And a lot of that really boils down to our advanced scheduling features that integrates real-time resource data and time tracking data. So here's the real powerhouse of our software. It's the Gantt chart. This is the ideal view to build a complex construction schedule. On the left is the task data, on the right is the visual timeline, but this is more than a simple template tacked onto a spreadsheet. You can see that the timeline is dynamic. Those dates and the data automatically updates. The data sheet on the left, the timeline moves. You can drag and drop progress updates, and you can drag and drop dependencies, of which we have 4 different types, because not every dependency is just a finish to start. So we give you that flexibility in your scheduling. You can build in lag into your schedule. You can filter for the critical path and set baselines. So a number of complex, in-depth scheduling features. Now over here on the data grid, or table as some people call it, you can see all of our task data, very robust. We're looking at start dates, resource costs, planned hours, and so forth. Now, unlike a spreadsheet software where everything's manual like Excel, Google Sheets, or Smartsheet, Project Manager has automated functions within the cells to help you build your projects faster. So what does that mean? Let's take a quick look. So if I wanted to assign final completion to Brenna here, I'll click on the assignment cell. I'll search for her name. And right away, I can see that she has 13 hours of availability. So that's resource data. I can put in 6 hours of planned hours there. her real-time availability automatically updates, and then I can save that data. Now the planned hours column updated to 6, and the planned resource cost updated to 600, and my summary task data updated as well. So you can see that it's automated, it moves quickly, you can build out your plans very quickly, but it's also dynamic, so you can drag and drop and make adjustments. We have in-depth features that construction project managers need, like a WBS column, a nice layout of summary tasks and subtasks, but we also have like 3 layers of time tracking, I should say due date tracking. So earlier I mentioned baselines. Not only do we have baselines, but we have planned start dates and actual start dates. So that's 3 layers of tracking for you. So you can set a baseline at the start, you can do planned dates, and then actual dates, helping you stay on track. That theme of planned versus actual data occurs throughout our software, whether you're talking about task cost, planned cost versus actual cost, planned resource cost versus actual cost, and more. Now we have more views than just the Gantt chart. So let's say the team wants to log in and execute a task. They might just go into our intuitive list view here, where you can quickly sort and organize your tasks, and then you can click in and collaborate with your team. This is what Lauren was talking about. We have those nice collaboration features, but also in-depth task details. So you can write up a description, you can update the progress, log hours on the task, update the priority. And as you update this data, and you can see a lot of that plan versus actual data even in the list view here, as you update that data, it's going to update across the software in real time, whether it's the Gantt view, the board view, or a tracking and reporting view like our project dashboard. So our project dashboard is, again, automated. It updates in real time. It's going to reflect that progress field that I just updated, so you can compare your budget versus your planned costs versus your actual costs. You can compare your progress. What was my planned completion versus my actual completion? And there's even a nice workload widget here for you to track your resources. Furthermore, something else that makes this unique is we have built-in risk management, which is very important in the construction industry, of course. So you can account for supply chain delays, collaborate on resolutions with your team. There's a risk matrix here, so you can understand the severity of that risk, and then, yes, collaborate with your team online on those risks alongside your project schedule. Now, speaking of teams, we have a very visual and intuitive team and resource management feature called the team page here. I have it set up where I'm filtering just for the marketing team, where I can see everybody's tasks on a weekly or daily view. So that allows me to make sure that everybody's staying on track. I also get high-level data of the priority and the progress and estimated hours. So again, just rich data all over the software. And then if I feel like somebody's bottlenecked, I can easily drag and drop the task to instantly reassign. We also have built-in timesheets into our software. It's not an add-on, it's built in. And you can autofill the assignments for someone on your team for the week. So Sam Watson was selected, I clicked autofill. All of his task assignments are there, so I can just manually enter those hours and submit. You can also log hours on a task level. Let's say you're at the job site. You can use our mobile app to log hours while you're doing it there for even greater accuracy. And this data will sync into Acumatica, as we'll see later. Finally, we have intuitive yet powerful project portfolio management features. So on this view, you can see all the projects in the system. You can organize your projects in a folder by department, maybe by quarter, and then you can drag and drop to reorganize more high-level data. We also have a portfolio dashboard that works like our project dashboard, except across all projects. And then there's a reports section here where you can slice and dice the data exactly how you want, 8 different report templates. You can pick and choose the data, export that for your next stakeholder meeting as a PDF. And then we have a workload page for long-term resource planning where you can see, holidays, over assignments, under allocation, and more. So how does this all map into Acumatica? Let's take a look. So most of the data I just showed you will map. So in terms of tasks and assignments, we're looking at tasks and subtasks, plan versus actuals. We have time tracking and resource data, like actual hours on tasks, actual resource costs on tasks, and the resources themselves. But on top of the data, you also get unique brand new views that are only delivered by our integration, such as the project plan view that brings a WBS into Acumatica, as well as editable fields, so you can make adjustments to your project in Acumatica and sync back to Project Manager. Or here's more project details. These are high-level details. This is a bi-directional integration, so someone in the C-suite or maybe a financial team can just check out what the labor rate is or the budget, make an adjustment, and sync back to Project Manager. But it also goes down to the task level. So this really brings in project management features into Acumatica, where you can update the costs, plan start dates, and more right within Acumatica and sync back to Project Manager. And here's a look at some of the resources. You can map which ones you want back and forth. You're in control with this integration. So if this looks like something you're interested in, head over to our website. You can go to the /free trial and take your own free trial. It's free for 30 days, no credit card required. Or you can schedule a demo with Tracy Jones, who's our VP of Sales and Partnerships. There's his contact information. You can reach out to me if you want to talk to me some more. And of course, there's Lauren, who kicked off our call. So thank you very much for listening. Our company has worked so hard on this integration. Reach out to us if you have any questions. Thanks.
Very good. Thank you so much. Next up, we have Johnny Girardi with DataSelf.
Can you see my DataSelf Analytics screen?
You can see it and we can hear you. Looks good.
Darcy. So again, my name is Johnny Girardi. I'm DataSelf's founder and CEO. I'm a big data geek. That's my license plate. It reads Data Geek. I'm very excited to be here. I'm also part of the acu-connect board of directors. But primarily, my main goal today is to talk about how DataSelf helps construction companies with what we call a data-driven culture. You know, if you're investing in Acumatica, pretty much you are investing in your data-driven culture. But how we bring, a next level of reports, dashboards, KPIs, and AI to help you make more informed decisions from Acumatica on any data source that you might have to pull data from to make better decisions. I'd like to start this conversation with one of our clients, Acumatica clients, that is using the Construction Edition. They have been working with Acumatica with us for about 5-6 years now. Technicore, when they came from Sage 300 CRE. And part of their challenge when they went to Acumatica was being sure that they could analyze their projects, their customers across multiple years, multiple projects, open and closed, even with data from CRE, all seamless. See project cost, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, was it profitable? What happened with this customer? And being able to do this analysis with the Acumatica Live data and the CRE legacy data all blended, so they could see P&L by project across 5-10 years. They could see a WIP reporting across projects. And DataSelf was a critical component to bring the CRE historical data into a business intelligence solution, DataSelf business intelligence solution, blend the data with Acumatica in a way that Peter, which is the president, and his team could analyze the data seamlessly. If you want to learn more about it, you can use this QR code. There's a success story, but it was a very powerful example of how DataSelf can help a construction company making more informed decisions. Behind the scenes, technology-wise, we use what's called data warehousing and modeling. At the end of the day, we take your data, your Acumatica data. You might have data in other systems, maybe legacy data from, QuickBooks, CRE, and whatnot. You might be using, project management outside of Acumatica. You might be using CRM, payroll. No matter what data you have, we can bring into a data warehouse. We model this data, we connect the dots, and then we usually bring powerful reporting tools like Power BI, Tableau, and others to make reporting easy, fast, and automated. We have here also QR code that can link to systems we connect quickly and easily, kind of no code. So feel free to check that out. Ultimately, what people really care, at least the business people, is how they can see the data and how they can easily slice and dice the data when they find discrepancies or the outliers. So I'm going to show quickly some examples of how DataSelf helps management and decision makers be self-sufficient, finding answer to their questions anytime and anywhere. And the main thing is giving them the power to change things on the fly. Many people that come to DataSelf, one of the main challenges that they have is they have to create a lot of GIs and export to Excel quite often, which is really powerful. Acumatica is amazing in the reporting capabilities that is built in compared to other similar ERPs in the mid-market. It's really impressive. However, still many companies that are really data hungry, they still have to build a lot of GIs frequently and export to Excel, and is a manual process. Sometimes it's slow, complicated. In decision makers, sometimes they complain they don't have visibility for some of their KPIs anytime and anywhere. That's when DataSelf brings the next level. This example that I'm going to show first is an example that is one of the most popular in our client base, is the ability for a business person to slice and dice their data anytime, anywhere, without calling the business analyst, without knowing GIs, without knowing almost anything on the technical side of Acumatica. And here what I'm showing is what we call the slicer. We're looking at the project budget slicer. It can be GL financials, it can be receivables. No matter what data you have, you can go over here, you can select what periods you want to work with your data. Let's say if you want to see 2 years side by side or all the years, you select, press apply, you can change the months, and then you use the slicers to change the perspective. Right now I'm looking at my revenue revised by country. What if I want to see something else? This drop down that has a bunch of options are pre-configured, like customer, project owner, custom fields. There's a limited number of custom fields you can add. Pretty much as a business person, you pick and choose. So if I want to see project owner, you choose project owner. And now the report changes instantly to show that metric by project owner. What if you want to break down by something else? You expand into the next column, and now I already have chosen project. Okay, yeah, I want to see by project. Maybe I want to expand further. And you keep on expanding and choosing the slicers, and automatically and in seconds, that solution kind of changes the perspective. Super easy, super fast, super intuitive. And easily, like I'm looking revenue revised, what if I want to see different measures? Again, is a list of pre-configured measures that you can customize and create new ones. As a business person, you just pick and choose whatever measure that you want to analyze, press apply, and you get the results. Every click that I did here, typically in Acumatica means a new GI that you need to call a business analyst to build a GI, sometimes export to Excel and wait. And the wait is the problem. Many times people can't wait anymore, and the slicer usually will solve many of those data needs. Now we go way beyond the slicer. Cash flow projection is a fairly popular kind of analysis among construction companies. We take your cash on hand today, then we plug in the money coming in, typically from AR. If you work with pro forma invoices, there's a way to bring pro forma invoices as inbound items, inbound money. Money going out is usually AP, bills, payroll, and primarily the tool shows graphically and also in the detail what's going to happen with your cash flow. In everything DataSelf is highly interactive. If you see a data point here in what's happening, you can choose. Let's say I have a bunch of pro forma invoices. Are they going to be closed on time to be billed? I can choose them, and automatically when I choose those data points in my dashboard, automatically on the grid, it will show just the data point that I selected on the chart. Super easy to slice and dice and find the outliers. Like Technicore that I mentioned, sometimes in Acumatica, if you try to do P&L per individual project is fairly straightforward and is amazing. But sometimes if you need to see multiple projects across multiple years all together, it can be complicated. Sometimes it can be slow. And with DataSelf, like this P&L is showing multiple projects side by side. You can see at the year level, quarter level, month level. If you look at a weekly level, doesn't matter what the time period is, it's fairly straightforward in DataSelf to make those changes. Now, ultimately, not only is supposed to be easy to slice and dice your data, like even with the WIP reporting, you get the WIP reporting at the big picture, all projects. If you select one project and you click, you can drill down to see more details, like the cost codes, the tasks. If you click on those levels, you can go more to the actual transactions. The ability to drill down from the top tier KPIs all the way down to the detail in across is something that BI solutions can do, and usually Acumatica is more limited. Ultimately, what business decision makers really want is what we call is the 360-degree view of the business. This is a busy dashboard, but the idea is for every person in the company, they want to have a 360 view of whatever they care. This is an example of a CFO, CEO kind of perspective. You see cash flow, you see AR, performance, Gantt chart about the projects you have, allocation of people, P&L, financials, human resources. If you manufacture as a part of the construction, you can see your manufacturing KPIs. If you have equipment in the field that you're going to see the uptime, everything is in a single dashboard, and the data here can come from Acumatica, from IoT, from payroll. Doesn't matter what the data is, we bring it all together to help decision makers make more informed decisions, quickly and easily find outliers, and by just by pointing and clicking, like if I see my cash flow something is weird, I click cash flow, I go into a bigger picture of the cash flow, and then I can easily slice and dice to find the outliers.
Hey, Johnny, I think we got to wrap it up pretty soon here, please.
Yep, and that's pretty much my presentation. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you so much, Johnny. Really good. And next up, we have Marcus with Jigx. Marcus, you're muted.
Sorry about that. Now you should be able to hear me, right?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. So my name is Marcus Stopp. I'm the co-founder of a company called Jigx, and we focus exclusively on mobile apps for Acumatica. So we really want to empower your employees and construction crews to use mobile apps that are simple to use, yet powerful during their work, right? And they should just work and be available in any network situation. So we have three lines of products for Acumatica. The first one is field services. So we have a full-blown field services app that you can use for appointments, for service work, for custom forms, signatures, even payments, with route optimization, photo documentation, signatures, and so on. Then we have a product line for sales. So if you want to sell goods on mobile devices and accept credit card payments and stuff, and create even opportunities and have reporting, then this is available by Jigx. And what we're going to focus on today is actually our product line for construction that we are expanding quite rapidly given the demand we see in the market. So today it's all about construction, and I want to show you 2 or 3 different examples of how you can use the Jigx mobile apps for your construction business. Before we take a look at the apps, I want to give you a quick overview about the base capabilities of Jigx apps. So Jigx apps are fully integrated with Acumatica. So we are not a third-party platform that is just exchanging data. All your data will stay in Acumatica, and that's great for not only reporting purposes, but also for configuration and simplicity. So the core is Acumatica. All apps are available on iOS and Android, and they work across phones and tablets. And we're going to see both a phone demo and a tablet demo today as well. One big ask from most of our clients is that the apps should work fully offline. So any Jigx app works under any network situation. It doesn't matter if you are in a weak network area, it doesn't matter if you're offline. We always sync data with Acumatica in the background. And the cool thing about this is there is no latency in terms of user experience because the users always work with local data on device. There are no delays, no loading times, no spinners, nothing, nada. Everything synchronizes to and with Acumatica bidirectionally in the background, and the UI, the app is always snappy and fast. The apps are native and they can even be branded, so you can put your own app and your own corporate identity onto your construction crews devices. So they can be distributed privately on the Apple App Store or Android Play Store, but you can also use an MDM or even use our generic app. And we fully integrate with Acumatica's identity system, so your users can actually authenticate even with Acumatica sign-in into Jigx apps. Okay, cool. So in a nutshell, we are building a mobile offering for the construction space where everything that your deskless construction crews needs are in one place. And that not only means that your crews will get all the base capabilities that you see here, including a world-class user experience that's simple to use yet powerful, but on a functional level, we're gonna add more and more features along the way. And we already have time cards, timesheets, and the time clock that we're gonna take a look at today. We have full integration with project tasks, cost codes. We even gonna see a daily field report today. The apps support geofencing for project sites, and they work 100% offline, and they are robust and reliable. Okay, cool. Let's check them out. So the first demo is actually on my iPhone. Let me connect this. There we go. You should see my phone on the screen. If someone could confirm, that would be nice.
Yes, seeing it.
Okay,
Thank you.
excellent. Good. So what we see here is there is an app in the App Store called Jigx Frontline. That's our generic app. So if you don't need or want a branded app, you can always use the standard Jigx app. It's called Jigx Frontline, and it's available in the Apple and Android stores across the world. And we are signed in to the app via Acumatica, and I'm working on a construction site, okay? And our main paradigm is that the apps should be very easy to use. No one should need to be trained to use them, right? As you can see here, it's all about your day. So that's why the main entrance is called My Day. And I'm not only working on a construction site, I'm also a project manager. So I'm in a certain role in Acumatica. That's why I also have access to what is called project completion status reporting. And we're going to check out this in a bit. We also have access to time cards, and you can also add other modules from Jigx like expense management, because in this demo, I'm working at a remote construction site and maybe I want to get reimbursed for hotels or parking or whatever. Okay, let's get started. I want to start my day, so I just pick a job, and here I have access to all the projects I'm assigned to. Let's take the construction project, and here we have a couple of different tasks associated with that project. The first one in the morning, let's say, is site preparation. So I can start this job, and as you can see here, this app is now in what we call time clock mode. The time clock is one of the modes. We have time clock and we have manual mode with forms. But if you want to give your construction crews the ability to just clock time, that's it. You can even add notes and attach photos and videos. So your crews can simply report deviations and stuff. And also it's completely robust. So I can even kill this, take a phone call, put it in the background, whatever, get back to this. And as you can see here, it's still ticking, okay? And then let me stop this task really quickly. That was my site preparation. And now I want to switch to another job. Let's say I want to do electrical work. By the way, all your previous jobs will show up here in favorites. So you not always have to use drop downs. You can just go here and say, hey, I want to start my electrical work job. And as you can see here, it's geo-fenced. So now it's actually taking my location, and you can see here I'm in Europe currently. So I'm here, but the project site is actually here, and I'm not within that radius. So it's configured for this customer demo that I have to provide a node. So what we're doing now is I can only start this job, clock in or clock out, if I provide a node, and then we actually store the GPS location and the nodes, including the distance, as part of the employee time activities records. So you can do reporting on that as well. Also, what you can do is you can configure it in a way that you also have break time. That's probably relevant for time cuts. So you can either have a generic project for your trainings and internal stuff, or you can have a task per project. Let's say break time. And I'm still out the radius, so I have to provide a reason why I'm clocking out outside the geofence. And as you can see here, now I'm starting the break time. So now let's take a look at the time cards. So all time cards from Acumatica are available in here as well for the previous months. So you can configure how many months you want to show. And here, as you can see, we are not only showing the project items, we are also showing non-project work. Like this could come from field services and from service time, right? And also you can configure it that your crews can either only view the details, or you can also let them edit the records if you want to, if they want to change times and stuff. And also you can activate manual mode, where you're not using a time clock, but a form. So it's very, very flexible. Then also what I want to show you is you can add more modules. So this is expense management. Let's say I'm working at the construction site and I want to submit a parking invoice. So we also have access to credit cards that you configured in Acumatica, but in this case, I'm just using my personal account, and it was parking. And you can also configure it that you have to specify a project for that cost. So I can say, okay, it was the beach hotel project and this task. And then, of course, you can go ahead and you can upload the receipt. You can crop it. You can even annotate it if you want to. And I can also be offline, right? Doesn't matter, because when I send this now, as you can see, boom, it will sync it, and now it's available in Acumatica. Last but not least, because I'm a PM, I have access to project status. So here I can go and say, okay, let's go to the construction project. And here I see all my revenue tasks. And if they're based on progress, for instance, the billing, then I can go ahead and say, okay, painting is at 25%. Boom, done. Also available offline. So it's now sending the progress into Acumatica as well. Next demo, really quickly.
Marcus, we're
Let's,
about on time. You got about 30 seconds left, okay?
okay, perfect. Really quickly, as you can see here, we also have a daily field report on iPad. So you can go ahead and just create a new report for a daily field report. And I do this really quickly. This allows you actually to add times and equipment in 1 minute. And as you can see here, I'm building out my grid. I'm adding employees, and I'm rushing here, okay? Sorry about that. 5 employees. I have equipment on my side, dun dun. And now I just go in and say, okay, for all these employees, for lot 1, I want to track 4 hours and 30 minutes. Boom, in. And for lot 2, 2 hours. Boom. Done. Submit report. Sync with Acumatica. Done. Okay, that's it. That was my demo. Back to you. And by the way, before we get back, really quickly, check out Jigx.com. And yeah, send us a mail if you want mobile apps for your construction crews. Thanks very much.
Very good. Thank you so much, Marcus. And then last but certainly not least, we have Rose with Solver.
All right, thank you so much. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here, and you should be able to see my PowerPoint now. All right, thanks for having me. My name is Rose Shah, and I'm the Solutions Engineering Lead here at Solver. And today we're going to focus and talk a little bit about how Solver can swiftly address some critical requirements for construction companies like you guys on call today for planning, reporting, consolidation, and analysis. So while the construction industry shares some common challenges that impact strategic decision-making, like accurate financial reporting, budgeting, forecasting, there are also a number of challenges that are unique to the industry, such as analysis, you've got forecasting, performance of construction projects, your cash flow management and funding, regulatory compliance, cost control, resource allocation, and all of this while still allowing for scalability and flexibility. So with Solver's construction solution, you can uniquely tackle all of these diverse needs. So who are we here at Solver? We're an extended financial planning and analysis tool, or XFP&A for short, which increases access to some of the actionable insights beyond just the finance department. Here is the architecture of how everything works in Solver. So at the center and the heart of it, we've got Solver's data warehouse, which stores information from disparate systems all into one place. For example, you'd want to pull in GL financial information, including any subledgers or operational type information from Acumatica. You might have other data sources like a CRM system, maybe a payroll system, maybe a construction industry specific source, or maybe even data residing in Excel that you want to marry and pull in. Once all of this information sits within the Solver data warehouse, you can then use this for reporting and consolidation, planning, and analysis. Within reporting, there are various use cases, just like multi-company financial consolidations, multiple chart of accounts handling, automated eliminations, and ad hoc self-service analysis. Within planning, you can customize planning models with unlimited scenarios to adapt to some of those changing needs. So specifically for construction today, you're going to see this visual highlight some of the key areas that are encompassed by Solver for construction solution. So within these high-level categories of planning, reporting, consolidation, and analysis, you'll see a list of some of the critical functionalities included in numerous templates available to customers. So let's break this down further and see what this would look like in action for a typical Solver customer. So let's start with planning, which often includes our annual budget, a workflows plan, and maybe some project forecasts. I've now logged into the Solver web portal, which is accessible to all users via a web browser. On this homepage here, I can quickly see that I have 2 assignments to complete associated with our budget project. So I want to start here by updating my project revenue and cost forecast. So I'm going to click into this assignment here. And once open, I can see a comprehensive project forecast across active, awarded, and potential projects with all of their associated probability of closing. All of these projects show total contract revenue, costs, margin information, but my active projects here also includes posted actuals to date, so I can see how the job is performing against those estimates. And based on this information, I can then go ahead and adjust my budget based on the remaining backlog that needs to be forecasted to ensure that the timing is accurate based on my project knowledge. When I'm happy with the numbers, I can then submit and complete my budgeted assignment. I can do the same thing for any other areas of my budget where I may be a key contributor, such as personnel. So let's go ahead and look at this form here. I can now, within my personnel form, review my current complete compensation and benefits budget at the employee level, which typically comes in from a payroll system. I can add any new hires that I want. I can make any other necessary adjustments. For example, if I want to change anything here on the benefits line item, and again, submit it once it's complete. I can also budget and forecast at a higher GL level where needed. Now let's take a look at reporting, which includes some financial reports and other key operational reports, such as project workforce and more. So once the budget is complete, I can then use these reports easily to track actual performance against my budget numbers. In Solver here, you can see I favorited some of my go-to reports that I run on a recurring basis. So one of my personal favorites is this work in progress report. And here I can see the status across all construction projects and see how we're tracking against completion. From here, if I want to see some more detail for my projects, I can go into my Solver library under Report Template section, select my project report categories, and then I can review some further reports in here, such as my variance report. And I'm going to quickly pull this project profitability report. This report allows me to see individual projects, and I can get detailed information on exactly how it's performing against budget. I can even go one level deeper. For example, if I wanted to see what had been included in the change orders, I can right-click and drill down to see the underlying transactions associated with that line item of that project. I can also then go back into my Solver library and continue to run any additional reports, such as financial statements, workflow analysis, and anything else that I may need. Within my parameter section here of the report, I can also pick and choose certain filters that I want to apply to this particular report in terms of the data and the information that I want to see. Consolidation is another important component of the Solver suite, since this allows me to have complete visibility across all of my legal entities if I have many, if I have different chart of accounts or structures, or I come from a different data source altogether. So within Solver, the Process Manager tool here allows me visibility into my consolidation process and the ability to assign tasks and due dates to the people responsible for any reconciliation, elimination entries, and other necessary adjustments. During and after this consolidation process, I can run my consolidated and consolidating financials either through this Process Manager or through that report library that we saw earlier. For example, I'm going to go ahead and click into my fully consolidated balance sheet, which displays all of my entities going across my columns here once I expand out this view. I have many other views and options I can select from depending on the information I want to see or the audience that I want to share this with. And last but not the least is our analysis component. And this includes items like KPIs, dashboards, and scorecards. And a great example of this is the dashboard with some specific construction KPIs. This dashboard here lets me easily see at a glance how we're performing against targets with the most crucial KPIs for our industry. I can see that my KPIs associated with profitability, cost, project completion, they look good and performing well against goal. But I see that there are a number of KPIs that are associated with labor that are doing a little poorly by this red highlight. I can also scroll to the bottom of this report here to get more information. Now, if I want to analyze this a little bit further, I'm going to run an additional report here to do some more in-depth analysis. So this one that I'm clicking into is my interactive KPI dashboard. And this allows me to choose the KPIs that I want to further analyze by selecting it from this drop-down menu. And based on what I'm selecting here, the dashboard then updates to reflect that selected KPI, giving me some more insight into my current and historical performance. So that was a quick demo of what it would look like within Solver for construction. I'm going to go back here to my PowerPoint to just end this presentation here. So what would it look like to get started with a solution like Solver for construction? So first, using our patented Quick Start deployment technology, we're going to seamlessly integrate to Acumatica, which enables Solver's template marketplace, where you're able to download some pre-built financial reports, analysis reports, budget templates, and more. Next, we're going to set up your construction industry specific model, allowing you to pick and choose exactly which pre-built reports, dashboards, and planning models, and also configure your KPIs to your specific business needs. And then lastly, we will roll this out to users with testing, validation, and training, ensuring a seamless experience for all. All right, so with that, if you're ready to take the next step, Solver is here to answer any additional questions that you may have. If you want to learn a little bit more, please scan this QR code for some more information. I've also got my email down there for any of you who are looking to schedule a demo. Please feel free to reach out to me, and I'd be happy to show you a little more around Solver.